We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode, another one of Women Empowered Across the World. And this is our podcast, and I have amazing guests always. Host always with me, and that is Raksha Josie from Miami. She's global. And Jackie Zaccoli from Arizona, and she's global. And I am Carol Witt, and I am global. And we hang out a lot inside of Africa. So we have a guest today, Lynn Kitchens, and we're very excited to hear her story. I already heard just a tiny bit, and I'm so excited, and I know she will inspire so many people. So let's go ahead and have her join us. Lynn, come join us.
Hi, everyone. I am delighted. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here on Women Empowered Across the World podcast. Shout out to all of the women in the world. This is a time for us, ladies. This is our time. This is a time historic. This is a time we've never seen before. We'll probably never see again. But the important thing is that the constellation of women that are coming forth in this organization, Women Empowering Across the World, is the most important thing that we can be doing, I believe, in when I take a look at what you're all doing and also what needs to be done. We can say, am I right? We've come a long way, baby. Mm. We've come a long way, baby. And yet there's so much more. There's so much more that we can do to overcome the ways that we have been treated historically, and also the way that we have been thinking historically. My philosophy is that we actually train people how to treat us. And therefore, it's important for us, and I think imperative for us, to learn how to help people treat us with an increased respect, and that is how we think about ourselves first. As it relates to the concept that is my specialty, money, I think it's the same process. How we think about ourselves is how we train our money to work for us. How many of you feel like your money just isn't working for you as well as you would like it to? You know, it's true. Don't you feel as if your hard-earned money needs to be working a lot harder in order for you to make progress, the kind of progress that you really want to have? Not just a little progress, not just a medium-sized progress, but knowing the group and the quality of women that we have in this organization. I'm quite sure that I'm right, that you really want big progress, that you really want big uh, access to more and more money. You want your hard-earned money to work harder for you. Why? Because you want to make a larger impact. Am I right about that? If I am, put something in the chat that says thumbs up, so that we are locking elbows together to get better together. How do we do that? Well, I believe that in my lifetime, which spans, 7 decades now, I have invested 4 of those decades in getting better at money, getting better at making sure that my money is growing so that I can have more impact over time. Now, how many of you would like to have more impact? How many of you would like to have more money? How many of you would love to have a life where your thinking is more advanced around money so that you'll have as one person suggested here, become a philanthropist. Be more, do more, have more, and contribute more. I know that that's how this group operates, and so that's why I'm so thrilled to be invited to be your host today. A little bit of background that you might like to hear. I, at one point in my life, had no money, zero, so broke. How many of you can feel, was any of you have had a time in your life where really you were looking where the next meal was coming from?
Mhm.
That's where I was. And I was well educated. So it had nothing to do with education. I had a fine, fabulous upbringing. It truly had nothing to do with my upbringing. I had a very, very successful childhood, highly accomplished. It had nothing to do with my childhood. It was definitely circumstantial in nature. But as I looked around, I realized who was responsible. And guess who was responsible? Me. And not only was I responsible for getting myself into a predicament where I was broke, abjectly broke, without enough money to buy my next breakfast, but guess who was responsible for getting me out of it? Me. So it always comes back to the possibility that you need to take responsibility for you. Always, no matter what. When I realized I was the one who had to take responsibility for me, everything changed. It no longer was, those people out there or the economy out there or the jobs that were or were not available to me out there. No, it began inside, from the inside out. This begins to be an inside out job.
Mm.
You might be surprised to hear this. The money that you have now and the wealth that you create over time is an inside out job. It starts within. It begins with you. Even those of you, even if you have a money manager, even if you have the highest, most skilled, trained money manager taking charge of your affairs, making the buys and the sells and the decisions on your behalf to create a portfolio for you that will help you retire in the future or have enough money that you want to have for the rest of your life to do all the wonderful things that you want to do with your life. That person potentially making decisions on your behalf, guess what? You hired him or her. It's still you, it's still your responsibility to determine what he or she is doing on your behalf. What I have learned over 4 years of being in the investment business, and what I have learned about creating portfolios for people, that was my job as an investment advisor, professional investment advisor. I was that person. I created portfolios for people. I managed money for people. I helped them go from A to B to C to Z to gain wealth over time. I was the one who made the buy and the sell decisions. And what I learned over time was that most people depend on that person to make decisions for them, and they really don't pay attention. Women, in particular, in my opinion, are at higher risk because we have been conditioned over decades and decades and centuries, not just in the United States, but worldwide. We have been conditioned to abdicate our responsibility to outside people to take care of our money for us.
Yeah.
To the point that when it comes push to shove, or maybe a bad divorce, or something happens, maybe a debilitating illness that requires money as a resource. Suddenly, we don't know where those resources are, how to capture resources, how to allocate our resources well, how to figure out the best way to overcome crises. Economic crises are the one things that hold us back as women. Would you agree with that? In your own life, look in the rear view mirror at the economic crises you have endured. Why? Why did they happen? Were you taking somebody else's advice? Were you allowing other people to do for you what you knew best and better how to do for yourself? Were you unable to just pull the resources together for yourself? Someone else was in charge of those resources. This is a crucial time. I believe this is an opportunity for women. We are at a pinnacle moment in the history of our global impact as women to take on the charge that now is the time to not only say, I'm the CEO of my own life, the buck stops here. If I want my money to work harder for me, I'm the one that needs to be working harder at learning what that means, at being able to become an ace money manager myself so that I understand how to make better decisions. Would you love that? Would you love that? That's my mission. I'm here to help women make better financial decisions for themselves, for their families, for their being able to be, do, have, and give more, even more than we now are, have, and are able to give. Even more. This is an opportunity for us. This is not something that we can put off for another century, for another half century, for another even decade, and not even for another year. Today is the day that beginning is the time. Beginning today is the time to just take one idea and get better at it. Now, here's my challenge. I'd love to invite you. Would you be willing to say, as of today, I'm going to be a better money manager? I'm going to learn how to manage my money better. I'm not going to give that power away anymore. This is important enough to me to make sure that I have the wealth that I say that I want to have. This is important enough to me to have the kind of wealth that I not only say that I want to have, but that I can then have the impact that I say that I want to have. You see, I believe that the first half of our lives, oftentimes we are accumulating assets. The second half of our lives, we are contributing. We are finding ways to take those assets to contribute greater so that we leave legacies, so that we have larger impacts. I know that I'm speaking to the choir here, and yet each and every one of us can make a better commitment to say, no, that's me. So, no, that's me. And what if we all lock elbows and all of us get better at becoming ace money managers? Pretty soon, we not only can manage money better, our money, but what about the collective money that we then become put in charge of as women It's true that women do now have the ability to manage more money than ever before. We're the ones who inherit it. Many of our spouses die historically, age-wise, before women do. It's true that as we inherit more money, we have the ability to take the reins. Even those of us who don't have the kind of assets that require a lot of decision making, it still is in our best interest to learn how to create money, to learn not only how we can create more money better, faster, then how to keep it, how to manage it, how to become really great stewards and legacy builders. If you're on board, then let's do something. Let's do something locally inside your own heart. Let's do something together. Let's do something globally. What does that mean? What am I talking about? Well, it just means starting with you and asking the question, what do I need? Do you need more education? Do you need to understand how portfolios work? Do you need to understand the differences between what you invest in and what's risky and what's not? Do you need to understand how money grows over time? Do you need to understand how economy works? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, then you're in the right place. Not only me, but many of the women who are involved in this organization are starting to realize that money is one of the areas that we need to be better educated in. For that purpose, I'm taking 4 decades, not 4 years, 40 years, 4 decades of my past experience, and now I'm bringing it to an academy in which I'm teaching what I have learned. So it's my priority now to give back to other women and couples of the knowledge and wisdom that I've learned over time. Now, just think of it. If any of you had spent 40 years doing one thing, let's say you were a potter, making pots in a wonderful craft of making beautiful, beautiful pots, and you were casting pots every day, every day, every day for 40 years in all kinds of weather, using all kinds of materials. Don't you think that you would be an absolute expert, or certainly one that could teach other people how to cast pots, and not just any kind of pot, but the very best pots that are possible in any kind of condition? That's what portfolio construction, learning how to build wealth over time, it's possible. All it needs is someone who will be able to guide others in what works and what doesn't work during times of change. Are we in a time of change? I think so. How many of you feel like we're in a time of change? I started as a young stockbroker right out of college in the early 1970s, at a time when women were not allowed to be a stockbroker. I had to fight and claw my way into this prestigious group of men. They were the only ones who were allowed to speak to others about investment decisions, buying, selling, holding, what's good for you, what's not good for you. Well, just because of sheer, I don't know, guts, grit, and determination and persistence, I got a job as a stockbroker. And within 2 years with the major companies, I opened my own stock brokerage firm, one of the first women to do so on the West Coast, and began to hire other women as stockbrokers. And most people thought I was crazy. Looking back, I was. But I was the kind of good crazy that really helped other women move forward. Now, 2025, women have pretty much dominated the brokerage industry. We dominate the banking industry. We dominate the investment advisory industry. We've come a long way, baby. But how many of us really understand the fundamentals of managing our own portfolios well? And if we do hire an investment advisor, how many of us know that when that investment advisor is doing well for us or when they should be fired? How many of us know how to take the money that we have now, discern how much we're going to need to retire on very, very successfully, and even have enough left over to become philanthropists and give to others? And how many of us know what steps along the way to go from where we are now to where we want to be? What are the steps that are needed? What are the investments that are needed? How many of you are mothers? How many of you have children? How many of you remember this old adage that says, "Hey, mothers, it's 12 o'clock midnight. Where are your children? What are your children doing?" There's not one mother that wouldn't be shocked into thinking, "Oh my gosh, where are my children? What are they doing?" I'm here to say the same thing to us now as successful women. It's 2025, ladies. Where are your investments? What are they doing? Do you know what your investments are up to? Do you know what you own? Do you know what in the investments that you do own are doing for you? Do you know how they're protecting you? Do you know how they are growing for you? And if not, would you love to know? Would you love to begin? Would you love to take this on? Would you love to become an ace money manager? Would you love that to be one of your new identities so that you can say, yes, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a great partner, I'm a great friend, I'm a global advocate, and I'm an ace money manager, and I'm a philanthropist, and.
Wow.
If the answer to that is yes, the sky's the limit, and now's the time. That's my challenge, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, does anyone have questions for Lynn? Because we have to quickly. Okay, Raksha, go ahead.
Oh my God, she speaks my language through and through. Through and
I
through.
told you to pay attention.
I know. And you're absolutely right. If not now, then when? Right? Um, I love the fact that you changed that analogy. Do you know where your kids are to do you know what your investments are doing? Loved it. So you said you're from West Florida. What part of are you Naples side or are you further north?
I'm further north, not very much though. Sarasota,
Oh, okay.
Florida.
They're both from Florida.
Yeah, I'm in Miami. Carol's in Sun City now.
Yeah, Sun City Center.
Wonderful.
So we can definitely connect.
Guys
I
are
do
neighbors.
definitely want to connect
Uh-huh.
with you, especially with having started I Am Gwen.
Mm,
I'm
mhm.
Gwen is a program for women globally, and it's not for entrepreneurs only. It's to empower any woman. I really don't care what socioeconomic background you have. I don't even care about your age. You could be a year old and you could be a part of Gwen because it's all about building bridges. It's about communicating and building bridges through the generations. Because, like you said, like you, we've been around here for a few decades, I say, right? But we've got some that are just starting out. And if they can use our knowledge to catapult their journey, it would be so amazing to see these amazing women do things that it took us years to achieve,
Absolutely. I love that.
right? So I would love to connect with you. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. I have an upcoming program that's a beginning free webinar coming up in about 2 weeks. And it's being actually Jacques has the link. I don't know, Jacques, if you have that link.
Jackie. Yeah, I do. I can put that in there.
So this is perfect timing. Thank
Okay.
you, universe.
Okay. Oh, we have to move on, guys.
Yes.
Do we have any questions for Lynn? And then we can talk after the podcast is over. But yeah, go ahead, Jackie.
Well, I mean, I understand your background to a large degree, and obviously you're well versed in finances. Being a stockbroker, I can't think of any more epitome of actual financial security, so to speak. However, we're working with a population in Africa and different parts of the world that survival is their income. If they can make it past today, they're delighted. So Carol is actually in the process of developing their mindset so that they go from survive to thrive. And it's quite a little challenge, and yet most of them make it. So my point of asking this question is to find out what you can advise people with zero to be able to use as any kind of training grounds, any type of um, uh, a pattern, anything that might help them to get to where you want them to be. Can you give them any kind of advice for these young people that we help along?
The one advice that I have comes from those days in which I had nothing. When you take responsibility for yourself, that's when it starts. And the moment that you do say, it's not about out there, it's what I can generate. So the question is, what can you generate that other people have find of value so that you can increase every day, every day, every day, the transactions that other people will pay you for. The transactional value, it does not matter what country or the economics. Someone values something that you can generate.
Absolutely.
So whether that is cooking, being able to get resources together in a certain way that then someone else will pay for that resource, and doing it over and over and over. But then as you're beginning to see some success in that, saving and reallocating your monies well is a skill set. And once again, that's money management.
Yes.
I don't care if it's on a daily transactional basis. It's the same principles work. Being a ace money manager, making sure that you are managing your monies well, whether they're pennies or dollars or millions of dollars. It still is, it's the same principle. It comes to you, and you're the one in the center of the circle. You get to generate. You get to understand how to save, how to reallocate your assets, and over time you get better. Over time you get a lot better. But I can only say kudos to you, all who are listening. Wherever you are, you can decide to get better. Get even better still.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much, because I think that this is an area where a lot of women shy away from. Have in the past. I'm going to say in the past, actually, because I think they are starting to really focus in this direction now. It is why we're seeing so many CEO women, seeing, executives out there running company, big, huge companies now. It's because the focus has gone in that direction. So thank you for what you do inside of supporting women for their future. And not having to, because the old mindset has been, oh, get married, your husband will take care of you. You don't have to learn any of that. You don't have to do any of that. Yeah, we have new mindsets out there now around taking care of us and not looking to somebody else to take care of us. So thank you for what you do. Guys, thank you for another amazing episode once again. Please, if you really and truly want to move forward in what you're taking on and doing in your life, do Lynn's workshop. Find out what it is you need to find out to move forward. I loved what you shared, Lynn, and I loved your question, Jackie, in that, we work with a lot of people in Africa that don't have a lot, have very, very little, but we all have resources. We all have this. We all have this, and this was God-given, and it is beautiful, and we need to just use it. And so thank you, both of you, for really shining that light, because you don't have to have millions of dollars to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to start taking the steps to do it and focusing in that direction. So thank you. Guys, if you love these episodes, please invite other people to be on this podcast. Lynn, if you know women that would love to share their story and empower others, please invite them to be on our podcast. We're always looking for amazing guests. We all have a story. We all will need a platform to share it. And that's this platform. Okay, so please subscribe to our channel. Comment. We put these episodes out on LinkedIn. Comment on them. Let people know what you experienced with them. Okay, and please share them. Your sphere of influence is not mine, so please let's share them everywhere. Share these episodes so more and more people, more and more women can be inspired. Jackie, we need to
Move on.
complete.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me
Okay.
go ahead and
I'll
finish.
ask her
And-
later. I'll
okay.
ask her later if you want.
Okay, anyway, thank you again for another episode. We do these Mondays, 1 episode on Monday and 2 on Friday. Please join us. Thank you. Oh, and we all deserve to thrive. Let's do it together. It's not fun going alone. Let's do it together. Women empowered. Okay? Bye, everyone.
There's no divide. Peace and love.